so if you would form your question and make it just as brief and to the point, I'd appreciate it. Doug up in Tulsa, hi.
Yes, I wanted to ask Mr. Abraham a question, actually two of them, they're kind of related. And if all believers and conservatives were to sort of band together in a single thrust, say, for instance, to disengage the influence of the Federal Reserve and the international bankers, or would it be a multi-pronged effort? And what I'm asking is there a jugular vein in this thing that we could concentrate all our efforts in exposing? And secondly, where are we today in the actual outworking of this conspiracy according to their plans? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, to answer your first question as to if we should all band together, I have come to the conclusion over the years that the banding together in a single purpose is probably not as valuable as each and every one of us working in that area that rings their bell. You know, Marlon, you're obviously more interested in trying to correct all the error that is going on within the Christian community, and that effort should be encouraged. There are other people who are more and feel that they can do a better job trying to correct the error that's going on in the public school system. There are others like myself who address to economic issues and things of that sort. So what I encourage people to do is to find good organizations who represent that thrust point that most interests them, and to exert their influence that way. Now, as far as the conspiracy itself is concerned, yes, the conspiracy is in full bloom today. Its agenda is being carried forward without interruption. I'm sorry to add. And that I think that as far as the conspiracy is concerned, the most important thing to do is what I've tried to do in the book, and that is to expose its existence. And there's a tide running in this country, believe me. There's a tide where people no longer believe they're big institutions. Big institutions have lost faith with the American people, whether it's big religion like the National Council of Churches, or big banking, or big government, or big education. All those things are coming under scrutiny, and what used to be accepted as gospel by the American people as the pronouncements from on high is no longer the case.
Question. If in fact there is an establishment, does this establishment and this mentality control the national media?
This mentality and this establishment's control in the national media is absolutely total.
It's not partial, they totally control it.
They totally control CBS, NBC, ABC, the New York Times, Time Incorporated, Washington Post, Newsweek, the major conduits of information. And you watch and see, this book is going to raise an awful lot of hell before it's over, if you'll allow me to use that word. But don't waste your breath waiting for me to be interviewed on the Today Show or Johnny Carson, or to have 60 Minutes do a special on it, because it isn't going to happen.
Why don't we ever see 60 Minutes do a piece on Trilateral Commission?
Well, because one of the longtime members of the Council on Foreign Relations, which is the father of the Trilateral Commission, is the founding father of CBS, Mr. William Paley. And the people under Paley are CFR members. Such stalwarts of truth as Dan Rather, Bill Moyers, Harry Reisner, the late Charles Collingwood. They're all members of the Council on Foreign Relations. Over at NBC, you have John Chancellor, Tom Brokaw, Marvin Kalb, Irvin R. Levine, and one of the founders of NBC, Dr. General David Sarnoff, was one of the founders of the Council on Foreign Relations. At Time Magazine, it's the same thing. Henry Grunwald, Wilson, Banks, Catherine Graham at Newsweek, Washington Post, the publisher and owner of the New York Times.
You're talking total. I mean, those are the national media. They seem to all be members of the club.
They are members of the club. Ask yourself this question. When Gary and I did Men Dare Call It Conspiracy, that little book, either sold or had distributed is 5 million copies. It was never reviewed by any of those institutions. It was ignored as though it didn't exist.
That's amazing. Let's go back to the phones. Mark in Memphis, Tennessee. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Marlon. How you doing today?
Good.
I've got a couple of questions for your guest. I don't know. Have chosen my way, as you were talking about a little bit earlier, as far as joining various organizations. I'm a member of the Patriot movement in this country, and I've chosen the income taxation as my fight as far as cutting off the gravy train to these people that are financing my demise. And I'd just like your comment on that, please.
Okay.
And my comment is that that's a very worthwhile pursuit, because the IRS holds out such a threat on the mentality of the American people today as to be almost an invisible Gestapo. The IRS operates outside the civil courts of this country. The IRS is not bound by the same limitations that you would find even in the criminal courts.
Why? Why do we allow such a thing to operate in this country?
Because we have congressmen who are cowards. The Congress of the United States can correct this. And I think your caller from Tennessee, that's an issue that can be brought to the forefront of the American people's attention very, very quickly. And that is to take the IRS out of its arbitrary, capricious power mechanism. And the Congress of the United States can do that. And I would hope that every listener to your program, if they, in the upcoming congressional elections in 1986, would at least attend one coffee hour for one congressional candidate and say, what are you going to do about the unconstitutional powers of the IRS?
Robert in Kansas City. Hi. Yes, go ahead, Robert.
Isn't it amazing how we call this thing the New World Order and how it's been around for a long time? And yet nowadays, we tend to call it the New Age movement. And yet the people that are exposing the New Age movement never give any credit to Dr. Abraham or Allen or Dr. Sutton or Robert Welch or Dan Smoot or Tom Anderson or Don Bell or Harry Schultz or L.T. Patterson. Isn't it amazing how they keep silent about that? I guess it's good to sell books and make speech honorariums, isn't it?
Okay, good point. Any comment on that, Larry?
Well, my only comment is that Voltaire, who was a very bright guy and wasn't on our side, I might add, if he were alive today, he'd probably be a presidential counselor, but he was not stupid. Voltaire once said that there is no end to what can be accomplished if you care not who gets the credit.
Okay.
My attitude is if somebody's doing a valid work and if they're doing a good job in exposing some tentacle of this problem, then God be with them and Godspeed. However, I offer a note of caution. There are people out there who have waxed fat, both economically and prestigiously, by trying to create conspiracies that don't exist.
Yeah.
By saying that it's a Vatican plot, or it's a Jewish plot, or it's something that will pander to basic insecurities in the minds of their listeners. What we're dealing with here is not anything other than, and I don't mean to depreciate it by saying this, because for people who understand what I'm about to say, it not only doesn't depreciate it, it gives it even more impact. We're dealing here with militant, organized atheism.
I think you've said it pretty well, haven't you?
I can't think of any other definition that summarizes it better than that.
Larry, hey, we've just touched on this book, and I've got an opening on Friday. Can you come back Friday?
Love to.
Okay. For those of you listening, Larry will be back with us. We've still got some more time, but Larry will be back with us on Friday, and we'll pick up wherever we leave off today. Let's go back to the phones. Mansfield, Texas. George, hi.
Hello. I'd like to ask Mr. Abraham two questions and have him comment on them.
All right.
The first one is, why is the Nundare book, why has it been banned in Canada? And also, I've heard that George Bush has read your new book and he wants to talk with you.
2 questions. Why has it been banned in Canada?
Well, that's really an interesting story. The new book has not been banned in Canada. I guess the book burners up there haven't gotten around to it yet. What they did in 1984 is that under a new law in Canada, administered by the Customs Department, they put Nundear conspiracy on their contraband book list, and the book was banned as hate literature. In fact, on my desk this morning when I walked in here was an article from a Nova Scotia daily paper where the writer had called me, and a political science fellow in Nova Scotia was the one who had discussed it, and they called Nundear hate propaganda.
I've got about 20 seconds. His question on George Bush, reading it and want to talk to you.
Well, I've been told that, and we'll see.
Okay. My guest this afternoon is Mr. Larry Abraham, and we're talking about his book, Call It Conspiracy. If you'd like to get a copy of his book, in fact, we just extended it to 2 interviews. If you'd like to get a copy of his book and the tapes of the 2 interviews, you can write to me, and we ask that you enclose a gift